Welcome back to the Oasis Focus on Finance show. Today our special guest is Ebrahim, CEO and Chief Investment Officer. Let's return to our theme of the impact of Islamic finance and how it also affects us closer to home. Markets have been fairly volatile in the last year or so, and I think that the important question we have to ask is how have Islamic investments compared to the conventional market sector?
So if you go back into the thesis of Islamic investing, it's asset-based, so it's there's assets supporting the investment, and you're buying real businesses, and you're using very little debt, and you don't have derivative instruments. So by definition, over the very long term, there may be periods, 1 or 2 or 3 days or a month or two, where it may be different, but over the long term, Islamic finance products should be much lower risk, so less volatile, and also over the very long term, better returns. If you look at take the Crescent Fund and the Dow Jones Index and compare that to the conventional, the Crescent Fund in South Africa and the Crescent Fund globally have outperformed fantastically over the long term. And the downside correlation has been very, very low. There's probably only 2/3 of the market downside correlation, which is really good. And that it comes from two elements: the inherent lower risk of Islamic finance products and the skill of the manager. If you take it differently, ignore the skill of the manager, and you just take an index. If you take the Dow Jones Islamic Sukuk Index, it's delivered over 10 years slightly higher returns than the conventional bond index, but at only 2/3 the volatility. So when you have much lower volatility, you have greater certainty, you have greater confidence, and so Islamic finance over not only in equity products, but in Sukuk products, right across the board, much less volatile, better returns. And I think the longer we go on with this kind of marketplaces, and you have those 40, 40, and 20, the 20 will sleep peacefully at night. The 40 on the outside who don't care will sleep less well. The 40% who don't act, they're just oblivious. And the real task, and this is going to be the real great game changer for us, inshallah, as a ummah, the 40% who don't care, when they see the 20% who care, the quality of life and the stability and the peace that comes from low volatility and growth and harmony and chaos, what they have, I think they may care very soon and migrate from not caring to caring. So that, again, could be a very big scope for growth in the industry.
There's a perception that Islamic finance is centered in the Middle East. It seems to be a Middle East-centric kind of a thing. What's your response to that?
I think the Middle East and Malaysia, those governments have done a good job. So it's very entrenched, it's long-term, it's entrenched in the financial architecture. And so they've benefited, and we must compliment them for achieving what they have achieved. However, if you look at places like Indonesia and Turkey, amongst others, they're growing very rapidly. And then, I was looking at some numbers the other day, and when I look at the funds industry, and I take out the Middle East, with the Middle East, the fund industry, Oasis most probably makes up about 5% of the total global Islamic finance funds industry. This for one company from the private sector against big multinationals, big government organizations. Alhamdulillah, I think that's a big achievement. And then secondly, if you take out the Middle East, now there's Islamic finance in South Africa, throughout Africa, Europe, US, UK, amongst others. Oasis would have about a 10% market share in the non-Middle East Malaysia funds under management. And again, that puts us as one of the larger players, in fact, one of the largest players, if not the largest player in that sector outside the Middle East and Malaysia. And increasingly, we are being viewed as that. And so what will happen is that players like Oasis, who are deemed to be market leaders, will start gaining in scale. And by the way, we live in South Africa. We have operations in the UK and Ireland, outside the Middle East. So I think what's happening is wherever Muslims are, that's where Islamic Finance. The only thing is, in the Middle East and Malaysia, they've got the momentum. They're in their second and third 20-year period. So you know that conversion of the consumer, that 40-40-20, they most probably now 30-30-40. You know, so the 40, of the people who care. And if we can get that, then we'll have the same momentum. But very soon there'll be 20-20-60. You know, and in places like Malaysia now, they're making very rapid progress, and you know, we also going to follow the same path, and inshallah we'll have the same numbers in the not too distant future. It's just time, confidence, good service, good products, and great performance at low risk, and that 40-40 will reduce very rapidly, and and the 20 will become bigger. The Ummah will become stronger, and hopefully, you know, a lot happier.
Adam, you've established quite profoundly that Oasis is a player. You've mentioned 5% internationally, 10% as well in another context. But how does this play into me as an investor in terms of wealth, investment and savings?
It's a very important part of, it's the most important part of why we're here. We're here to serve our clients, our investors. We're here to serve the consumer who needs wealth management products. And today, Oasis has got in South Africa the full spectrum of product. There's no product that we're unable to offer in South Africa, so we can meet every need, every savings need. And you remember, we're not a bank, so we can't do that. We don't do short-term takaful, so that's not our area. But in the areas of our endeavor, wealth management, we can do, we have the product, we have the track record, we have the systems, we have the people. Now we've taken that into the global arena. And so, give you an idea of the excitement, and if you can feel it, I hope that you can feel the excitement. The largest wholesale distributor of financial wealth management products in the UK goes live with our products. The third largest global player has gone live with our product. The largest player in the Middle East has just gone live with our product, and they're in 22 countries. And the world's leading financial institution is doing a due diligence so that they can go live with our product. So now this is East, West, North, South, and these are some of the biggest, largest, most respected global institutions are coming to Oasis for their product. We providing the product. The products that the consumer. So what that means is the products that you're in are deemed to be the best globally. They're accepted globally. Great performance. They're cost effective, and cost is important. And that's really good for the consumer. Going forward, now with all this distribution that we're putting in place, over the next 5-10 years, we'll really drive that distribution directly through our own financial advisors, indirectly through independent financial advisors, and thirdly, through the big wholesale banks and insurance companies, the takaful companies, globally. And then we have a surprise coming to the investor, positive surprise over the next 18 months, where we will be able to communicate more effectively directly to the investor globally. And that's our real focus now. We've got all the infrastructure. Now we need to talk to our investor in a more effective, more transparent, more coherent way, in a digital environment where people anywhere using any device can access our information. And that's the excitement, not only access our information and also transact. So the next 2 years, I think, is going to be very important for Oasis because we put all, we start pulling all of that together, and inshallah over the next 5-10 years, we can sit down and say, we've really taken this to Muslims everywhere, anywhere, and wherever they live, with these products that we started in Cape Town. The Muslims of Cape Town and South Africa were the first and they must be really proud for having the confidence. And the confidence, they've actually stock picked us, like we call ourselves stock pickers. The ordinary South African Muslim have actually stock picked somebody that the biggest global financial institutions are now 18 years later coming to stock pick. So we need to hire more of them as our analysts, as our within our organization, because I think we must say thank you to the South African and Cape Townian investors, and from Durban and Johannesburg and Polokwane and wherever. There's so many name changes, I must just be careful. We have people in every dorpie around the country. We have about 30 students in our offices doing their VAC work. We have 7 medical students. We have an Oasis Healthcare Week for all our staff. So we have 7 medical students that we sponsor. We have a bursary scheme of 40 that goes to 60. It's really just walking through this office, seeing these young people. This is the 2nd time or 3rd time they're coming to this environment. And it just, they're the new OP, they're the future of Oasis. The future of Oasis looks really bright. The future of Islamic finance looks exceptionally bright. And we're happy to be part of it.
Adam, shukran so much, and may your Ramadan be a peaceful and prosperous one, inshallah.
Shafiq, it's always good to chat, and to all the viewers, Ramadan Mubarak, and I hope you enjoy.
Thank you. You are watching the Oasis Focus on Finance show. When we return, we'll be talking to Oasis wealth managers, Ebrahim Rawat, Mansour Mia, and Nawad Ashtekar about forms of savings. Stay tuned.